click on your language to be taken to the list of files that need to be translated. We provide separate video tutorials about translating the various file types. The videos are all listed at the end of this tutorial. To start translating a file, click on its name to be taken to the CrowedIn editor. This is CrowedIn editor, where you translate files. This is where you see the English text that needs to be translated. Click on a sentence to select it. This is where you see the English sentence that you have selected. This is where you see the existing or automatic translation that we have added. This is where you approve the shown translation. Do this if you agree that the translation doesn't need to be corrected. Make sure you compare it to the English original to check that it is accurate. This is where you correct or improve the shown translation if necessary. Here are existing translations of similar sentences. If you find a useful translation, click on it to add it and then change it if you need to. When you finish translating the last sentence in the file, you get asked whether you want to open the next file. You can also quit the editor like this. When you open a PNG image file in CrowedIn, you see some instructions in the context area. For some images, you will be told that there is nothing to translate and you move on to the next file. For other images, you will be shown a link. The link will take you to an online code file that contains all the code you need in order to recreate the image in your language. Click on the link. Translate everything that needs to be translated. Keep in mind the rules for translating HTML, Python, and Scratch code. Next, take a screenshot using your computer's snipping tool software or an equivalent app. Save the screenshot as a PNG file. If the original image contains annotations, such as arrows or circles highlighting certain elements of the image, use an image editing program to add these annotations to the translated image. Then save the image as a PNG file. Upload the PNG file to CrowedIn. When you're translating a Scratch project, you need to translate the Scratch files, ending in .sb3, in the Resources and Solutions folders. SB3 files cannot be opened in CrowedIn editor, so you have to download them, translate them, and then upload the translation to CrowedIn. To download a Scratch file, click on Download and save the file to your chosen location. You can open the Scratch file in the offline Scratch software if you have this installed, or you can upload the file to the online Scratch editor. Change the language in Scratch by clicking on the globe icon and then clicking on your language in the list. If your language isn't available, leave Scratch set to English. Changing the language automatically translates the user interface in Scratch blocks, but it doesn't translate names of variables, lists, and custom blocks. Text in say, think, ask, and operator blocks, or text displayed on backdrops or sprites. These are the things you have to translate manually. Check whether there are variables or lists in the project by going to the Variables section. Here there are 3 variables, named high score, name, and score, and 1 list, named sequence. To translate the name of a variable, right-click on it and then click on Rename Variable. Type in your translation and click OK. Repeat this for all variables. The names of lists can be translated in the same way. If there are say, think, ask, or operator blocks in the project, you have to translate these. Here there's 1 say block and 1 ask block. Translate the text in the white fields. Check in the My Blocks section whether there are any custom blocks, because you need to translate these too. Here is a custom block named Game Over. To translate it, right-click on it and then click on Edit. Translate the name and click on OK. Some backdrops and sprites contain text which needs to be translated. For example, the backdrop in Brain Game shows Game Over and one of the sprites shows Play. You need to translate both. To translate text on a backdrop, Click on the backdrop and then click on Backdrops. Doing this takes you to the image editor. Double-click on the text box and translate the text. To translate text on a sprite, click on the sprite and then click on Costumes. Doing this takes you to the image editor. Double-click on the text box and translate the text. Click on your language to be taken to the list of files that need to be reviewed. To start reviewing a file, click on the 3 dots next to the file's name and then click on Open in proofreading mode. Doing this opens the CrowedIn editor. This is the CrowedIn editor where you review files. Here you see the English sentences, and this is where the sentences translations are. This is where you approve the translation. Only approve a translation if it's correct and can't be improved. Compare it to the English original to ensure its accuracy. This is where you correct or improve the translation if necessary. Here are existing translations of similar sentences. If you find a translation that is useful, click on it to add it and then change it if you need to. You can also quit the editor like this.